Hello, future RMTs. Welcome to our virtual classroom. And for this video, what we're going to discuss is all about synovial fluid. Okay? Our learning outcomes are as follows. Describe the formation and function of synovial fluid. Discuss the normal and abnormal appearance and cellular composition of synovial fluid. Relate laboratory results to 4 common classifications of joint disorders. To start with, let us have first the basic of our synovial fluid. Now, when we said synovial fluid, it is commonly referred as the fluid of the joints or joint fluid. Take note, guys, that the word synovial comes from the word egg. And if you are going to aspirate, or if you are going to have a synovial fluid or analyze a synovial fluid, it actually resembles the egg whites. Okay? It actually resembles egg whites. Okay? Now, the major function of our synovial fluid is that it's a viscous fluid circulating in our diarthrosis. And like what I've said, the major function of our synovial fluid is it gives lubrication. That is actually the reason why we can bend our joints. Okay? Ngayon, our synovial fluid is composed of what we call hyaluronic acid. This hyaluronic acid produced by our synoviocytes is the one responsible for the viscosity of our synovial fluid. Okay? The major function, like what I've said, the major function of our synovial fluid is it provides lubrication. It lubricates the joints, thus reduces the friction between the bones. That's why if you heard your lola, your mama, your papa, or whoever who experienced this, they're saying, naku, nauubusan na ng langis ang aking mga kasukasuan. Okay? That langis that they are referring is actually the synovial fluid. Pakiramdam nila, hindi na nila mabend ng husay. No? Ang kanilang mga knees, ang kanilang mga siko, sinasabi nila, naubusan na daw sila ng fluid, ng langis. That's actually the synovial fluid. It promotes lubrication. Kaya yung ating mga joints, no, nabibend natin ng husay because of the synovial fluid. At hindi nagkakaskasan or nagkakameron ng friction ang ating bones because of, again, synovial fluid. Now, aside from these two functions, our synovial fluid is also responsible for providing nutrients to our articular cartilage. Okay? It provides nutrients. And since it reduces friction between the bones, it also lessens the shock of joint compression occurring during activities. For example, walking and jogging. No? You try to walk without bending your knees. You try to run without bending your knees. Di ba mahirap? That's actually the reason why synovial fluid is also important in our body. How are we going to collect synovial fluid? Now, take note, guys. Lumbar puncture is for CSF. Masturbation, coitus interruptus, or condom method is for semen. And for synovial fluid, we have what we call arthrocentesis. Yeah? Arthrocentesis. This is the method of collection. Yan. The method of collection, wherein the medical doctor will aspirate fluid from the joint. Take note, guys, we as medical technologists are not allowed to perform the collection. Doctor will be the one to aspirate synovial fluid. Okay? Again, a normal synovial fluid has no clot. No? No clot. Resembles egg whites nga. No? And diseased joints resembles clot formation. Okay? So again, arthrocentesis is the method of collecting our synovial fluid. Now, let's discuss the volume. No? The normal volume of our synovial fluid is less than, no? Less than 3.5 ml. If the volume of our synovial fluid is greater than 25, not 25 ml, it means there is an inflammation. Later, we're going to differentiate those abnormalities in the joint fluid. No? Kagaya ni CSF, our synovial fluid is collected also into 3 different tubes: microbiology, hematology, chemistry, and glucose analysis. But there is a twist. No? In your CSF, we're collecting it in a plain tube or in a plain container. But for synovial fluid, we use our anticoagulants. No? For microbiology, we use sodium heparin. For hematology, we use sodium heparin or liquid EDTA. For chemistry, non-anticoagulated. For glucose analysis, sodium fluoride. Well, you know already why sodium fluoride. Now, I want you to take note of this. Please remember this one. Don't you ever use powdered anticoagulants or lithium heparin. Why? Because powdered anticoagulants and lithium heparin will produce an interference in the crystal. No? It will produce interference in crystal formation. Okay? Never use powdered anticoagulants or lithium heparin. Now, I want you to remember this one. Specimen for crystal analysis should not be refrigerated because they may produce additional crystals that can interfere the identification of significant crystals. Okay? Do not refrigerate samples if you are going to identify crystals that is present on the synovial fluid. Now, if synovial fluid is less than 3.5 ml, no, the color and clarity of our synovial fluid are as follows. Again, it appears colorless to pale yellow. Yung ating CSF, crystal clear, right? So the normal color or appearance of our CSF is colorless or pale yellow. Well, it will become a deeper yellow if there is an inflammation. There is a greenish tinge if there is a bacterial infection. Red if there is a traumatic tap or hemorrhagic arthritis. No? Parang si CSF, ano yun? Hemorrhagic or cranial hemorrhage, traumatic tap. Kay synovial, traumatic tap, and hemorrhagic arthritis. And then, synovial fluid that appears milky indicates the presence of crystals. Now, how about the viscosity? Again, take note of this. It is capable to produce string formation. No? String formation of at least 4 to 6 centimeters long. No? String formation of at least 4 to 6 centimeters long. Okay? So we have the ropes and you can clot test to identify the viscosity. At anong ginagamit natin dito? No? The reagent on this test is 2 to 5%, no? Acetic acid. Now, how about for the grading of the viscosity? On the 5th edition of Stressinger, ito yung sabi niya. On the 3rd edition, ito. This is actually the way how are we going to grade the viscosity of our synovial fluid. Now, yung viscosity ng semen, 4, no? And 0. For this one, we have fair, we have good, fair, poor, and very poor. Okay? So, yeah, this is how are we going to grade the viscosity. Ano lang yung pinagkaiba nila? Dun sa third edition, friable clot is graded as poor, while for the fifth edition, friable clot is graded as low, and poor is indicated as no clot. Okay? Sir, I have a question. We are using the 6th edition of our book. So how are we going to grade it? Okay? So we are going to grade it using the 5th edition. It's actually the same grading, no, in our 6th edition. Okay, so this is the normal values of our synovial fluid. Again, the volume is less than 3.5 ml. The color is colorless to pale yellow. Clarity is clear. Viscosity is able to form string formation. No? Yun yung test dyan eh. Yun yung laging tanong sa board exam eh. About synovial fluid. A fluid that is capable to produce a string test for approximately 4 to 6 centimeters. Synovial fluid. The other test or the other question is goes like this. Synovial fluid is capable to produce at least how long? Or the synovial fluid is capable to produce a string formation for at least how long? The answer is 4 to 6 centimeters. Okay, leukocyte count should be less than 200 cells per microliters. Neutrophils should be less than 25% of the differential count. Okay, crystals, none or sometimes present. Okay, glucose plasma difference is less than 10%, okay, lower than that glucose level. So later in chemistry test, we are going to discuss the plasma glucose difference in our synovial. Now, like what I've said, we have what we call the classifications and pathologic significance of joint disorder, which these 4 classifications will be helpful in assessing the etiology of the inflammation or the problem why there is a increase in the volume of our synovial fluid. Number 1, we have classification type 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, for type 1, we have non-inflammatory. For type 2, we have inflammatory, we have septic, and we have hemorrhagic. Well, actually, guys, no, inflammatory, type 2 inflammatory, is divided into 2 classifications, type 2A and type 2B. Later, I'm going to show to you what is the difference between type 2A and type 2B. Well, for type 2A is inflammatory, immunologic, no? Inflammatory, immunologic in nature or in etiology. While for type 2B, that is inflammatory, crystal-induced. Inflammatory, crystal-induced, okay? So for non-inflammatory, the pathological significance is degenerative joint disorders and osteoarthritis. For inflammatory, like what I've said, it is furtherly classified into 2, immunologic and crystal-induced. So for inflammatory, it can be, immunologic disorder, which includes rheumatoid arthritis, SLE, or systemic lupus erythematosus, scleroderma, polymytosis, ankylosing spondylitis, rheumatic fever, Lyme arthritis, at kapag naman crystal-induced, we have pseudogout and gout. Septic means there is a microbial infection. hemorrhagic, sabi natin, this is due to traumatic or hemorrhagic arthritis. No? For traumatic injury, tumors, hemophilia, and other coagulation disorders and anticoagulant overdose are the pathological significance of hemorrhagic synovial fluid. So like what I've said, the types of our synovial disorder or joint disorder is classified into four rather. Non-inflammatory, inflammatory, septic, and hemorrhagic. Again, our inflammatory is has a sub category, type A and type B. Type A is immunologic, type B is crystal-induced. Now, take note, people, that these are the laboratory findings, no, of our joint disorder. Clarity, for non-inflammatory, clear, yellow. Now, for type 2A, inflammatory, immunologic, cloudy, yellow. Type 2B, inflammatory, crystal-induced, cloudy, milky. Septic, cloudy, yellow-green. Di ba sabi natin, if the synovial fluid appears with greenish tinge, no, it is an indication of microbial infection. So septic, yan. And hemorrhagic, no, cloudy or red fluid. Now for viscosity, good for non-inflammatory, poor for inflammatory, immunologic in origin, low in inflammatory, induced, crystal induced, and then variable for septic, low also for hemorrhagic. Okay? For WBC count, less than 1,000 per UL for non-inflammatory, 2,000 to 75,000 per UL for immunologic, immunologic inflammatory, up to 10,000 per UL for crystal-induced inflammatory, 50,000 rather, to 1,000 UL, 100,000 UL per septic, and then blood is equal, no? Yung distribution. Or equals to blood, ang distribution ng ating WBC. Well, for neutrophils, ang pinakamataas dyan definitely will be the septic, 75%, because of the presence of bacteria. For glucose, since mataas ang presence ng bacteria kay septic, edi siya yung mayroong pinakamababang glucose. Although decreased level of glucose is also seen in inflammatory, type 2A and type 2B. Well, for hemorrhagic and non-inflammatory, parehas lang po silang normal glucose. For others, ang ating inflammatory immunologic will definitely, it will give you a positive result in antibody screening. For inflammatory crystal-induced, well, definitely positive in crystals. For septic, positive for microorganism, gram staining, and culture and sensitivity. For hemorrhagic, positive for RBC. Okay, so cell count, usually ang cell na kinakount is WBC. No? WBC is the most frequent performed cell count in our synovial fluid. Well, for our cell count, we have to dilute it with NSS, with methylene blue. The purpose of methylene blue is to give color, since methylene blue is an example of direct stain. No? It will help us to differentiate our WBC. Or we can use hypotonic solution of 0.30% NSS. Saline with saponin can also be used. Now, how about for very viscous fluid? Now, for very viscous fluid, since this is viscous, very thick, no, we have to add a pinch of hyaluronidase to 0.5 ml fluid. So the purpose of this, no, to lessen the viscosity of our synovial fluid. And after that, add 1 drop of 0.5% hyaluronidase and phosphate buffer to 1 ml of the fluid, and then incubate it at 37 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes so that the fluid will not be too viscous or hindi po uh, uh, masyadong malagkit ang ating synovial fluid. Now, take note of this, guys. Do not use acetic fluid as diluting fluid for WBC. Why? Because acetic acid, well, definitely acetic acid will not lyse your WBC, right? But rather will lyse your RBC. Now, never use your acetic acid as our WBC diluting fluid because it can cause clot formation. Okay? It can cause clot formation. Now, again, like what I've said, WBC is usually the test or the cell count performed, and the normal value should be less than 200 microliters. Well, for WBC, less than 200 microliters per microliters. Our RBC, less than 2,000 per UL. Okay? Well, for WBC, ang common is macrophages and monocyte. No? Parang kay WBC, di ba? Kay CSF, ano yung common natin? WBC, monocyte and lymphocyte. No? 7:30 ratio. And 25% is neutrophils. Increase in neutrophils and increase in WBC count is an indication of correct septic or bacterial infection. Okay? So we have here the differential cell counts or the cells that can be found in our synovial fluid. Well, number one, we have neutrophils. Okay, again, we all know that neutrophils is associated, our WBC associated for our bacteria. That's why no, it is increased if there is a bacterial infection or crystal-induced inflammation. Lymphocytes, non-septic inflammation. Macrophage, normal or viral infections. Synovial lining cells, that's a normal cell that can be seen in synovial fluid. LE cells, no? LE cells is a neutrophils containing ingested round body. And LE cells is clinically significant saan? Sa may mga SLE or systemic lupus erythematosus. Rater cells, well, definitely Rater syndrome, non-septic inflammation. RA cells or rhagocytes, okay, these are neutrophils with dark cytoplasmic granules containing immune complexes that is correlated with rheumatoid arthritis and immunologic inflammation or immunologic as well as inflammation. Cartilage cells are large multinucleated cells which is associated with osteoarthritis. Well, rice bodies macroscopically resembles polished rice. That's why it's called rice bodies. Okay? It is associated with tuberculosis, septic, and rheumatoid arthritis. Okay? Well, for fat droplets, that is associated with traumatic injury or chronic inflammation, while for hemosiderin, pigmented vinonuclear synovitis is the clinical correlation of our hemosiderin. Okay, take note that those are the cells that can be found in our synovial fluid. Okay, so we have crystals that can be found in our synovial fluid, most especially in crystal-induced inflammatory joint disorder. And we have positive bifrengens and negative bifrengens. Okay, take note, guys, that negative bifrengens is composed of MSU or monosodium urates, cholesterol, and calcium oxalate. Okay? Remember that your negative bifrengen sodium monosodium urate is needle in shape and it is clinically significant Saan? Sa mga may gout. Cholesterol, notch, rhombic plates, extracellular, calcium oxalate, envelope in shapes or in shape, and clinically correlated with renal dialysis. Next is we have positive bifrengens. For positive bifrengens, we have the CPP or the calcium pyrophosphate, which is clinically significant to pseudogout. Kapag gout, MSU. Kapag pseudogout, CPP, calcium pyrophosphate. Pseudogout, positive bifrengens. Okay? Next, we have corticosteroids, which is a both positive bifrengens and negative bifrengens. Okay? And corticosteroids is correlated with injections o pwede din po sa mga gamot, yung mga steroid drugs, no? Yung ating mga steroid anti-inflammatory drugs. Okay? And we have the low bifrengens, that is our appetite, calcium phosphate, no? That is correlated with osteoarthritis. Okay, so again, kapag po positive, negative bifrengens, no? The light is parallel to the crystal and it will give you a yellow bifrengens. Pag naman positive bifrengens, no, perpendicular, and that is blue bifrengens or frengens. Now, what are the causes of crystal formation? Number one is metabolic disorders. Another reason is decreased renal excretion that produces increased levels of crystallizing chemicals, like for example, increase in blood uric acid that promotes the formation of our gout, gout arthritis, no? Degradation of the cartilage and bones, and injection of medications such as corticosteroids, no? That produces crystals. Okay? So for synovial fluid, we are using polarizing microscopy, which is able to detect the bifrengens or the absence or presence of bifrengens, and compensated polarizing microscopy, which confirms the bifrengens of our crystals. Okay? So for chemistry test, the best example or the best analyte that can be tested for chemistry test is no other than our glucose. Again, they told people that glucose is the most chemistry or the most frequently tested. Oh my God. This should be tested. Most frequently tested, no? Chemistry test is our glucose test. Okay? And glucose test in synovial fluid should be done in conjunction with our blood glucose, no? A fasting blood glucose. And the difference between blood and our synovial fluid glucose should be less than 10 milligrams per deciliter. Less than 10 milligrams per deciliter is an indication of normal synovial fluid. Kapag greater than 10, an indication of abnormal or simply an infection or inflammation. Okay? Aside from that, we can also test for lactate, no? Which is increase in infection. Bakit increase? Mababa ang glucose sa infection, mataas ang lactate. Kagaya nung kay CSF, no? Protein, less than 3 mg per deciliter, and increase in protein, no, is seen in inflammatory and hemorrhagic disorder. For uric acid, increase in gout. Kapag gout, no, uric acid crystal, type 2B, crystal-induced inflammatory. Now, for microbial tests, those are the most common or the common microorganism that can infect the synovial fluid. One is Staphylococcus aureus, because as we all know, that is a normal flora of our skin. No? Streptococcus, Haemophilus, and Neisseria gonorrhoeae are the microorganisms that can infect our synovial fluid. Well, you might wonder why Neisseria gonorrhoeae can also invade our synovial fluid. Now, for serological tests, we have autoantibodies for the detection of SLE and RA, or rheumatoid arthritis. And we also have a serological test for Lyme disease. Now, Lyme disease is caused by Borrelia burgdorferi. No? That is the causative agent of our Lyme disease. Okay. Well, basically, to have a synthesis of what I have explained, the examination of our synovial fluid is almost similar in the examination of CSF. Is collected into 4 different tubes with anticoagulant, powdered anticoagulant or lithium heparin should not be used as anticoagulant because it may interfere in the production or in our crystal formation. Synovial fluid, normal volume is less than 3.5 ml. Greater than or equal to 25 ml is an indication of inflammation. Joint disorder is classified into 4. We have non-inflammatory, inflammatory, septic, and hemorrhagic. For inflammatory, it is divided into 2 classifications, or further classified into 2. We have immunologic inflammatory and crystal-induced inflammatory. Okay? Glucose is the most common analyte tested in chemistry for body fluid. Lactate is inversely proportional to the level of glucose, no? And lactate is increased in the presence of bacterial infections. Uric acid should be done in conjunction with blood uric acid, and uric acid is seen, no? A uric acid crystal is seen in patient with gout. Okay. What else? There are available immunological tests and microbiological tests to detect the presence of antibodies for immunological tests and to detect the presence of microorganism for our septic. No? That is for our microbial. Okay, so those are the things that I want you to remember for our synovial fluid. Okay, so thank you for listening. I hope you are all well and you were able to learn in this video.